So one of the things that kind of dawned on us is that we haven't done a tour of the boat yet. And I'm sure a lot of questions you all have is like, show us this boat. What is it? You know, what's the inside look like? How much room do you have? That sort of thing. So we are going to do a bit of a tour. So here we go. We're gonna break it up into segments, inside, outside. Sherry will do some pieces, I'll do some other pieces, and yeah, we'll give you the full tour. So here we go.
This is the aft deck. This is the first thing that I saw when we walked onto the boat, and I knew this was my boat. I love the space. It came with a freezer, which comes in handy when you're spending days, weeks, months in the Caribbean, and so we're not sure that we're actually gonna use this. We might take it off the boat so we have space for furniture. It's pretty cool. They came with, they left a blender, which was nice. And then down here, of course, we have drinks and stuff down here, but some tools, miscellaneous tools, and an ice maker, which is nice. It works very well. We've been keeping, since we have a small fridge inside, you'll see later, we've been keeping a cooler with drinks. And so this thing just pumps out the ice. Yeah, and it's got the nice isinglass on it, which we really, really love. So we can pull them up to let air in, or leave them down when it's chilly or buggy. Lots of bugs down south, so we have them down a lot. And then the cockpit is down here, and then off of that is a swim platform. I really love this space. This is why, without even seeing physically the rest of the boat, I'm like, this is it. This is our boat. I love this space, so can't wait to put our furniture on it and see if it works and see us spending a lot of time out here.
So this is the other half of the lazarette. Not a lot to see here either, but there's a little bit more room here. Again, a couple of odds and ends. We got an extra fender down here, an extra anchor in case we had, were to have weather. We could have, the anchor, of course, that's mounted at the bow of the boat, and then a second one here that might, keep us from swinging around, moving around too much. Yeah, and lots of lines. And this is the exhaust coming from the generator. It's where our exhaust runs.
This is another thing that we wanted, was a must when we were looking at boats, was we wanted walkways because I'm going to be the one doing all the anchoring or the lines and the fenders. I wanted something that I could get to and from the back and front fairly easy, without having to run through the entire inside of the boat. I found that it's been very, very helpful, because there's been times when I've had to literally take off and run to the back, and that would have been difficult trying to maneuver indoors and through the boat to get to the back. Yeah, we were anchoring a lot on the trip from Florida, and so this was my job. Would have to come up here, I would take the cover off. And then I would have to come in and unlock it, and here to get the anchor out, and then and get the line out. We've got little pedals. I can push it forward and back. Makes it easy. Of course, I do have to get out to here and try to hold on tight as I'm trying to either get the anchor out, or we have a snubber. Is it called a snubber?
It's called a dauber.
Dauber. I keep calling it a...
No, it's called a snubber. You've been calling...
all this time, and he keeps correcting me, and now I'm like, oh.
No, it's called a snubber. Okay. You've been calling it a dauber all this time.
I've been calling it a dauber all this time.
Where we got dauber from.
Why, but anyway. Also, we have these really nice railings and the little safety ropes, because when we have Caitlin on board, she can, I feel somewhat safer with her. Of course, she'll always have her life jacket on, but the right height, so that way she won't fall overboard. And then, of course, the little safety rail. I'm kind of worried about the dog, but I think he'll be okay. We have these nice handles on the side to grip. We use these a lot, especially when we're coming on and off the boat. I use them when I'm running through, just an extra grip. But getting on and off the boat, as you can see, we have the railing that pulls apart to open up so we can get on the boat. But this helps too to kind of keep stable as you're getting on and off the boat. It's just another nice little safety measure. This is the salon. It also has the helm. If you need to, if the weather's really bad and you need to come down here to drive from down here. It's got all the import. I don't even know what all this is, but it's got all the stuff you need to drive. And we have the sunshades on right now. You can still kind of see through it if you needed to. for a few minutes if you needed to navigate, I guess. But the couch is really nice because like this pulls up and there's storage under here, and the same thing happens over there. So there's lots of storage under here. Right now I just like a blanket enough right now. The table, this is nice. The table lifts up and there's storage. We could keep in our maps and stuff in here, and our navigational system is in here. This is kind of where we've been doing most of our plotting the night before, when we figure out how far we're going to go, the distance, where we're going to stop, where we're going to anchor, or we're going to go to a marina. So it's nice and big because our map fits here, so we can plan it all out and figure it out. This is kind of been where we've been doing it, so it just makes sense to put everything in here. Now we're moving into the galley and the dining area. On the way down, we have this little cabinet. I've been putting our medicine and first aid kit in it for right now. The table can fold down, and this can turn into another bed, which is nice. But also there's like behind the table in the wall, there's some storage. There's storage under each bench. There's also a drawer at this one. And then on the wall, back wall, there's storage. I've been putting like snacks and paper towels and stuff, like extra stuff in there for right now. Moving into the kitchen, we have lots of storage up here. The microwave is in here. Storage along the wall. Drawers. There's cabinets up under the sink. It goes back really far, so that's nice. There's also a drawer underneath the stove for the pots and pans. And here's my little tiny little stove. This can pull down to a little shelf. Yeah, so that's nice. And then it just kind of closes up when we're traveling. Yeah, like two sinks. And then they got covers for them. So then that gives me extra counter space when I'm cooking. There's also, and I have no idea what to do with this. This, I guess it's like an old ice chest type thing. The previous owners had like a little trash can in there and used it as trash. I won't use it for that. I tried. It's just a little too inconvenient because, you know, I usually have dishes drying, or we have the toaster that pulls out and sits here for using it. And so it's really hard to use that as trash. So I don't know what else to do with it. So right now it's just empty. And the fridge was something that was concerning for me because it's small. It's bigger than some of them that I've seen. I was a little worried about it, but it holds a lot more than I thought it would. So it works out really great. It's got a little freezer inside of it, so it's worked out very nice. And what was surprising to me, at least, is how much storage is under the floor. There's these little hidden compartments that you can pull up. And right now, there's like extra parts for the boat under here, but it goes back pretty far on both sides. So if I wanted to use it for provisions, I could. There's another one here and really big. There's one in her bedroom that's really big. And then there's one in our bedroom that is pretty big too.
Now is the engine room. So the heart and soul of the boat, what makes it go. And I spend a lot of time in the engine room, and it's a lot of preventative. It's a lot of just maintenance, just to make sure that the engines are finely tuned and doing what they need to do. They got the oil they need, that all the fluids and transmission fluid, the coolant, that there's no leaks. When we're underway, we check the engine room frequently. I say frequently being about once every 2 hours or so. We actually physically go into the engine room and take a quick peek. As you can see, we've got the headphones down here for hearing protection, and we just leave them there because it's great space. They don't go anywhere, and anytime you're in the engine room and the engines are running, you need those.
Yeah, the previous owners did that, and we just like, good idea.
It's perfect. Exactly. So to access the actual engine room, we lift the stairs. Here we go. All right, so here's the engine room. Port and starboard. Yes, port, starboard, P and S. I gotta look.
I'm all turned around on the boat.
It's easy to get turned around when you're climbing under the stairs and all this stuff. So it's a bit of a tight space down here, but it's really not that bad for the maintenance stuff that I've had to do so far. So always checking the engine oil here, twice a day, you know, checking the engine oil to make sure that it's got enough oil and it's running smooth and clean. And you got the cooler, the coolant, always checking that at the beginning of the day. Obviously, after the engine's cooled, tough to check those at night after an entire day on the water, as it's still really hot, but we'll let that cool down and always check that the morning before we get going the next day. Transmission, we check back here, but these are Caterpillar 3208s, 275 horsepower each, maximum 2600, 2650 RPMs. We've only had it, you know, we've only ran the engines at the max RPMs for just a couple of minutes during the survey. I think the most we got up to during our trip from Florida to Delaware, we got to 2300 RPM. Again, just for a couple of minutes, we do that to kind of burn the carbon off at the end of a long day. 3208 Caterpillar engines, 275 horsepower each, turbo units back here, air intake. The coolant's cooled by seawater, so seawater comes in through here, so we open those sea cocks for both engines before we start the engines. That cooling water goes through, keeps the engines cool. And at the end of each, you know, cruise, so if I'm not going to be on the water for a few days or a few weeks, whatever, flush that with fresh water, just so that it helps prevent that seawater from corroding. We've got a water maker over here. So this is our water maker. We haven't used that and probably won't, as most of our, until at least we go to the Caribbean. So it's nice to know that we have it. It is currently pickled. So you pickle the water maker, so when it's not going to be in use for a while, that prevents any of the seawater and all of the living organisms that are found in the seawater from contaminating it and that sort of thing. And the previous owners were so kind, they left us so many extra tools. We got a nice toolbox over here with all of the main tools and pieces and parts. Manual bilge pump, which had to use a few times as we had some leaking coming in from our port shaft. Got that corrected. Air conditioners over here in the corners. The inverter, I have one inverter that's down here in the corner, another one that's in the aft underneath the bed in the aft master cabin. We keep the towels underneath the engine so that we can see when there's a leak, if there's something leaking and something we need to care for. But I have about a day's worth of work down here to just do nothing but clean and wipe everything down, wipe the bilge down, and you know, keep it as clean as it was as when I got it. And then we'll also, over the course of the next few weeks, do some maintenance. They're both due for an oil change. We've got changing impellers, the zincs here and over here need to be replaced. Put those in. The impeller is going to replace those, so it helps keeps the water moving through the coolant system while we're in, you know, one place here for the next couple of months, just getting ready for our longer trip. Now is kind of the time to do those things, make sure that we're starting fresh and clean, and it gives me the opportunity to do a lot of the stuff. I'll be doing it for the very first time, so it's not hard work, but you just I gotta know what to do, and it's always a little slower the first time you do things. So I would rather do that now than once we begin our journey, you know, waste a day, you know, learning when I could be doing that now. So yeah, so this is like I said, the heart and soul of the boat, and when you care for it, it'll care for you in return.
And this is the master cabin. We're gonna change out the bedding. Not that this is bad, but it's nice, it's really nice. And I may put the other stuff on and decide I don't like it and keep this, I'm not sure yet. But I do wanna change out the curtains because they'll just come over and cover the window. Okay, there's lots of storage in here. I've got like a little makeup desk. It opens up, and there's some storage down in here. The bathroom is so small that I'll end up using this to at least come in here and do my hair and makeup and stuff. Little nooks and crannies, just gotta come in here and figure out how I'm gonna utilize it. Cabinets down here and here, and there's this storage goes way, 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 way back, so it's a little awkward, but it'll get used. It definitely will get used. we're moving into the Caitlin's room or stateroom. This is nice because a lot of the boats we looked at either had one large master stateroom and then main stateroom, and then like a small second bedroom with a bunk room, another bunk room, and we wouldn't really use the bunk room, and it was kind of like a waste of space for us. So it was really nice to find a boat that had two big staterooms. So if we have company, they can stay in here. Caitlin can either sleep on the couch, or we can pull out, make the dining room a bed. So it'll work out. So it's just mainly going to be the three of us most of the time anyway. So it's just nice that she has her own space. But yeah, so it's got a nice queen bed in it, so it's nice. She loves it. She loves hanging out in here, so it works out for her. We'll doll it up with all of her Florida Georgia Line and Luke Bryan posters and all her stuff to make it hers, and get her bedding in here. It'll make it hers. So, and then in here for storage, there's some drawers under the bed that open up, so she'll have some storage there. A lot of storage under the bed. It's a big open space, but if we get the bow thruster, we're gonna lose that space under there, but it's completely worth it. These little cabinets, this is where the anchor comes in and out of. Curious to see what it sounds like when the anchor is coming in and out when she's in here, what she hears. And she also has this closet. This is really deep, so this is really nice because we can use this for extra clothes that we might not use all the time, because it's got like almost like double hang. So I mean, it's a nice deep closet. So her little bathroom, she's got a nice, I keep saying nice, but storage is nice. A fairly deep cabinet in here to keep extra stuff, and then another little storage. She just has a curtain which closes and closes down. It's not overly big, but it'll work. It works. I've already had to help her take showers and stuff in here, and it works fine. So we're happy.
And this is the outside of the boat. It's a 48-foot Camargue cockpit motor yacht, 1988 Taiwanese made boat. From just my understanding and research, very well made boat. From our experience on it over the last month and moving it from Florida to Delaware, yeah, very sound and sturdy and rides nice, and we couldn't be happier. I will say she's still dirty. We need to clean her. You can see the mustache that she's gotten from the dirty water coming all the way up the ICW and the Chesapeake. That'll get cleaned here in the next over the next couple of days. Well, thanks for joining our tour. We hope it gives you a little more insight into our living conditions and living situation and the challenges that we face from selling and moving from a 2,400 square foot home to a 48-foot boat, and how we're overcoming some of those. You got a sneak peek into some of the changes we're making, as some of the video included footage of when we first took ownership, and then some footage of some of the most recent changes that we've made. So you got to see a little bit of both, and then some of that's going to continue to change as we continue to make the boat ours and make it more comfortable for us, especially with the journey that we're facing ahead. Half the battle of finding the right boat is understanding the journey and how you're going to be using it. Thanks again for joining. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell so that you know when our next video is immediately available, and we hope to see you soon.